A new trove of Epstein files has raised fresh scrutiny over the late sex trafficker's ties to Donald Trump and former Prince Andrew. North America correspondent Cayman Gok has been going through the files for us in Washington. Cayman, what do these latest documents show?
Yeah, Emma, there's a range of different documents, from tips to the FBI, tax returns, internal communications from personnel at the jail where Jeffrey Epstein was being held, and even a fake video that purportedly shows Jeffrey Epstein committing suicide in his cell. There are also many mentions of the now President Donald Trump in this latest trove of documents. There's one where a federal prosecutor sends an email in 2020 noting that Trump flew Jeffrey Epstein's private jet many more times than previously known. That is now public knowledge. But there's also this alleged letter that Jeffrey Epstein purportedly mailed in 2019 to fellow sex offender Larry Nassar. And Nassar is serving time. He was the doctor of the US women's gymnastic team, convicted of sexually assaulting more than 100 athletes. And the letter reads, "Our president also shares our love of young, nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system." Now, the Department of Justice said it was investigating the validity of this letter and has now come out with a statement saying the FBI has confirmed that this alleged letter is fake. It says the writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's writing. It was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia when he was jailed in New York. It says the return address didn't list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include an inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. Now, it ends by saying this fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice, it does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all materials required by law. Now, the DOJ has actually already violated the law. It was supposed to release all of its unclassified documents by the legal deadline last week. It hasn't done that. Instead, it's releasing them over the coming weeks. The DOJ says it needs more time to redact sensitive information relating to victims and families.
Interesting twist, that one. Cayman, some of these files, though, have raised fresh scrutiny over the former Prince Andrew's ties to Epstein. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's because there's this email correspondence with someone who goes by A from Balmoral. They're also later referred to as Andrew, and they go by the alias The Invisible Man. And in this email correspondence, this A from Balmoral is messaging Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, and they're asking her if she has found new inappropriate friends for him and that he's exhausted from his duties with the royal family. And then there's another email where Ghislaine Maxwell is asking someone in Peru if they could find Andrew, quote, some two-legged sightseeing, adding, I know I can rely on you to show him a wonderful time and that you will introduce him to friends that you can trust and rely on to be friendly and discreet and fun. Then the Invisible Man replies to Maxwell saying, as for girls, I will leave that entirely to you. Now, the ABC hasn't verified who sent these emails, and the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's crimes, but these emails again add fresh scrutiny into the former prince's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And in this latest trove of documents as well, we've learnt that the US sought assistance from UK authorities to request an interview with the former prince in relation to their criminal investigation into the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.